Let's see what this whole thing is. Let's see what's going down with the guys over at Activision. What big dumb thing they're doing now.
How far microtransactions have come since the Horse Armor days, and how companies continue to try to push the boundaries so they can continue normalizing things that, once upon a time were considered egregious and unacceptable. But now, they've managed to somehow inchworm their way, boil the frog slowly, if you will, in such a manner that the frog doesn't even know it's getting boiled. Now, they did push too much in certain areas. Pay-to-win loot boxes are no longer a big thing, at least in the AAA gaming landscape, though in mobile gaming, pay-to-win loot boxes are still everywhere. But companies are still trying to find ways to, push how far they can go with microtransactions, how much they can affect gameplay, what schemes they can come up with in order to incentivize people to spend additional money on things that will offer them emotional or gameplay value. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're at a point where companies are thinking to themselves, what if we took the cosmetics-only microtransactions that have become normalized, that people seem to be able to tolerate, and add pay-to-win elements to the skins themselves, to the cosmetics themselves, rather than selling the pay-to-win directly to the players. This seems to be the next scheme that companies are trying to push, or at the very least, Call of Duty.
And they've kind of done this before, like we mentioned before with the Rose skin. Like, that skin is like super broken, just gonna be real. Because when you're in dark, shadowy areas as the Rose skin, you can't be seen. Like, you blend in with the shadows, and so you're just invisible. It's like actually kind of broken. However, it was only available to certain people that got like certain packs at a certain time. And since then, they've released additional skins that are very dark and have the same sort of vibe, kind of like the one you see on screen here, where in shadows they also kind of disappear. And so, like, they know what they're doing. But previously, it's been very, very secretive and sneaky. And nobody really, like, you can't say, oh, you know what you're doing. You're selling pay to win. Because it's just like, oh, well, no, it's just a dark skin. I don't know what you want. They were just wearing black clothes. I don't know what you want. That kind of thing. They have plausible deniability. But in the case of what it seems like they're about to go into here, it's not going to be that cut and dry. It's going to be a little bit more drastic. Which is a bit of a bummer. Oh, Yong's going to Universal Studios Hollywood. Wow, Yong, I want to go. Let's go. Should we do a co-stream or like a vlog where Yong and I go to Universal together? That'd be awesome.
Call of Duty Warzone 2.0, for those who don't know, has this mode called DMZ. This is essentially their extraction shooter mode, which involves seeing various players in different squads going in, looting stuff, getting out, and then that loot will allow them to essentially have an advantage in the next round or power up for the next round. It's this interesting combination of both PvE and PvP. You'll be encountering both other real players as well as AI, and it's this really unpredictable mode where you have to play really tactically and defensively and be really careful, because if you die, everything that you have looted, all of the advantages that you have given yourself by finding things throughout the world or by winning certain rounds, I mean, all of that will be gone. You'll be dropping all those things. And so it's high risk, high reward. It's a genre that's becoming a lot more popular, and Call of Duty is kind of trying to be at the forefront of this. And
it only works if there is risk and reward. The moment risk goes away, there's no reason to play it anymore.
Among the things that Call of Duty likes to sell to players are cosmetic microtransactions, but for Warzone 2.0's DMZ mode, the cosmetics, the cool looking stuff, are currently under fire, facing a lot of backlash and criticism, because these premium skins that they're selling with upcoming patches and whatnot include unfair, game-breaking bonuses that essentially appear to turn DMZ into a virtual pay-to-win game. The way Activision is doing this is by adding what are called DMZ bonus effects to premium cosmetics, essentially special effects, at which point the skins are no longer cosmetic only, but rather they have tangible gameplay effects that can grant players who spend that additional money significant advantages. So one of the gameplay elements of Call of Duty's DMZ mode are backpacks, which you can upgrade as you loot stuff in an extraction shooter round, and there are three sizes: small, medium, and large. And as you get better sized backpacks, you essentially can carry more gear, which is an important aspect of the gameplay of this game, as carrying more gear just allows you to be more versatile, have just more tools with.
No way. Are they actually selling a skin that allows you to have a bigger backpack at the start? That's another level of ballsy. Wow.
With you. Now, normally the way it works is that after you die, again, one of the mechanics of extraction shooters is if you die, you lose everything. And with backpacks, it is reduced to the starting size of small. And this element of things resetting after you die is a pillar of extraction shooters. It's what makes them so intense. It's what makes the whole high risk, high reward element shine. But with something like the Bomb Squad Premium Cosmetic Bundle, that important aspect of the gameplay loop of DMZ and extraction shooters is compromised, because what this particular skin does is give you this special bonus where when you die, instead of your backpack getting reset to small as it traditionally should be, instead you will start with a medium backpack. This skin bundle is offering players a free medium backpack at the start. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to do the math here. Spend money in the shop and you can always be reset after death to a better place than those who don't.
Obviously, this is insane. This is ridiculous. I've always been curious. How do they get this? Okay, let's just say you're working on the team on this game, and you're one of the guys that is designing this cosmetic pack and puts it in the game. How does this work? So, is the CEO calling down and be like, listen, I want you to put in this skin and do it this way and have it pay you out this way? I don't think so. I think what's probably happening is that they have a series of managers, the mid-tier guys, that probably bonus out based on the revenue that they make for that quarter. So the managers are coming along and they have a vested interest. They have a monetary interest in maximizing the amount of money flowing in, because this is something somebody would do if they understand the value of that backpack. Because any tryhard, any streamer, anybody who's trying to win in the DMZ mode is going to get this skin, spending $12 effectively, and is going to use it until they nerf it. Because I would guarantee you, within a few weeks or a month or two, they will either have other skins that do the same thing, or they will have nerfed this one and taken that away. So whoever's deciding, okay, we're going to have this skin that has this ability to allow you to keep the larger backpack after death, they know the game. So they're clearly a gamer. That's not just like a manager way high up saying, do this and make more money. Somebody who knows the game is coming up with this. And at that point, it's like, okay, well, it's got to be somebody then who isn't concerned with making the best game possible, because everybody can tell that this makes a worse game where it's two classes: people who actually pay in the shop and those who play the game for free as it's being offered for free. So I have to imagine there's mid-tier bosses that are being bonused out or something that get paid if this does better and if they get more revenue coming in. There's got to be a way to do it. Just another thing, Activision is going insane and is selling people, basically a pay to have a serious advantage skin in the DMZ mode.
These skins essentially give you a nice early game boost while also making it so that when you die, you don't suffer the consequences as much. It is a complete spit in the face to a core pillar of the gameplay loop. The way things are supposed to play out is that everyone starts at an even playing field, and when you do earn good gear, it's because you played the game and you play the game well. It's your reward for, knowing what you're doing. But with the Bomb Squad skin, the way Kotaku puts it aptly is that it grants you a permanent free leg up to its owner, letting them acquire more loot and thus always outpacing someone who hasn't purchased said skin. And based on what players have data mined, things could get a lot worse if we let this trend be normalized, as there are already plans to introduce...
Oh no. They've done the research. They checked it out. They've seen what other stuff they're working on.
Additional premium cosmetic skins with significant gameplay advantage effects. So
yeah, Kotaku's a joke, but that's a fair assessment. Hey, even a broken clock is right twice a day,
For example, this right here is what data miners found, a premium skin called Thorns Out that will give you a free UAV upon deployment.
Like, listen, if all these skins were available to everybody, this wouldn't be an issue, because then everybody gets, everybody is on the same equal playing field, right? Everybody has the option to choose this skin that gives you free UAV, or you can choose the skin that gives you a bigger backpack, or maybe there's another skin where you get, I don't know, an extra grenade slot. I don't know. If they had this for all of the different skins, it would be like equipping a different specialty. Like, it wouldn't be that big of a deal. The problem is that they're selling it. Okay, so just the idea that a skin brings you this thing isn't necessarily bad, because then it's just like a different ability. But the fact that they sell it to you is the problem, because then it's, you either pay for this advantage or you're probably going to lose, and that's not cool.
Have this at the start of a round, and when you die, this is just something that will be with you. And this is a big deal. UAVs are a very useful tool that traditionally you have to go out into the field and loot. You have to earn your UAVs, but with this skin, you just kind of have it at the start of a match or a round. UAVs are seriously effective tactical equipment in Call of Duty. Pop one and enemies, players, or bots will light up on your map. PvP and DMZ is often a game of cat and mouse, and so by having a UAV and deploying it, you can get a lot of great tactical knowledge, but you have to earn that traditionally, whereas with this skin, you just get to have that tactical advantage from the outset just because you spent more money on this game by purchasing this skin. It's straight up pay to win in a multiplayer competitive environment at that. Data miners also uncover the possibility of a premium skin bonus that would involve players just automatically having free 2-plate armor vests from the outset upon deployment instead of your traditional 1-plate. And so this is kind of the scheme that Warzone DMZ wants to start delving into. They're hoping that people just accept this, that they'll be able to ride out the backlash enough where eventually people stop talking about it, will accept it as just normal. This is the next microtransaction.
Well, people just deal with it. Like, people just, well, it's whatever. And they move on. It just is what it is. And the thing is, like, it's one of the most scummy things about the Warzone thing specifically that really, honestly, just pisses me off. Warzone, for a lot of people, represents like their dream career. Warzone, for a lot of people, is like, if they get really good at it, they have this idea that they will become a streamer, that they'll become rich, they will be able to pay off their student loans, support their families, they'll be able to do something they love day in, day out. And so they view like mastery of Call of Duty, especially if they're streaming it too, as something almost like, in a weird way, it's almost like work. It's something they're grinding towards to try and find future success, based on their dream of becoming a YouTuber or a streamer. And because of that, Activision knows that a lot of those people are going to be more inclined to spend good chunks of change on things that give them a better chance to stand out, or at the very least to keep up. And so then they sell that to people with these broken skins, broken weapons, or, the metas that break all the time, totally accidentally, all of these things. And they know that there's a lot of teenagers, a lot of people in their 20s who are trying to get started and want to be streamers, who are going to be like, well, I don't like that this gallantry or the DMR is totally broken, but I'm trying to stream, so I'm just gonna deal with it. So they then buy it and go with it. And when an ocean of individuals go, I know my vote doesn't really count because it's just one, so I'm gonna get it anyways, but I'm gonna publicly speak out against this. That ocean of individuals creates an ocean, and that's how they make their money. And that's why, like, the fallacy of, well, one vote doesn't really matter. No, it matters, because if everybody thinks like that, then the mass vote doesn't matter. Nothing happens. So you can't just go with that. But it's like a lot of people I know because I've spoken to a handful of them who have reached out to me and been like, I want to start on streaming. I want to start on YouTube. I want to start uploading videos and stuff. And I've offered them advice, and a lot of them are like streaming Warzone, they're streaming Apex, whatever. And they're trying to get really good at it. They're trying to stand out. And honestly, if they're grinding ranked in something like Apex and then a new hero drops and the new hero is totally broken, they can either sit and just get curb stomped for 2 weeks until they patch it, or they can buy the hero, at least stand a better chance, and deal with it until it's fixed. You know, and so for a lot of people, it's not as simple as like, oh, well, just don't buy it. Because for a lot of people, they're viewing this, I would say probably falsely, as something bigger than just, you know, don't play it for a week, or don't worry about getting curb stomped by people with unfair advantages for a week or two until they patch it. So I would say that they're probably still going to make really good money doing this, which is super toxic. I wonder if they're doing this in response to like really negative or poor numbers that have come out recently. I don't know I know Call of Duty has seen like a drop in playership, but I don't know if it's that severe. Tried X Defiant though, and this is something we've been hoping for, is that there would be another game that comes along and can at least be a competitor to Call of Duty. And X Defiant has actually gotten a pretty good response recently. There's some people who are very good at these games that have been playing and really enjoying it. I mean, honestly, it looks so tight compared to a lot of these recent shooters that have tried to come on and take on Call of Duty. And I mean, you can tell that they have a lot of inspiration from Call of Duty coming.
He took my thing.